Welcome back to the Datarekha audio guide. I'm Diya.
And I'm Arjun. Today, the sentence that costs teams weeks and a GPU budget. The model doesn't know our product, so we need to fine-tune it. And why it's usually flat wrong.
Strong opener. So if that instinct is wrong, what's the one idea that sets it straight?
It fits on a single line, and it's the most useful thing in this whole topic. RAG adds knowledge. Fine-tuning changes behavior. They solve completely different problems. And confusing them is the classic, expensive mistake.
Unpack that for me. Knowledge versus behavior. Where's the dividing line?
Ask which is actually missing. If the model lacks facts, it doesn't know your product, your internal wiki. This week's pricing, that's a knowledge gap, and retrieval is the answer. But if the model has the facts and just won't act right, wrong tone, wrong format, a skill it doesn't have, that's a behavior gap. And that's what fine-tuning is for.
Okay, but here's the thing I'd push on. Why can't I just train the model on my docs? Then it knows them full stop. Isn't that the most direct fix?
It feels direct and it backfires. Fine-tuning teaches patterns of behavior, not a reliable fact store. Train on your docs and the model learns to sound like your docs. Same vibe, same vocabulary, but it'll still hallucinate the specifics. Worse, the moment a document changes, you'd have to retrain the whole thing. RAG just retrieves the current document at query time and grounds the answer in it. For anything that updates, RAG wins decisively.
So sounds like our docs but still makes up the numbers. That's the trap. It learned the style and faked the substance.
That's it, exactly. Style is behavior, and that's all the training actually transferred. The facts were never reliably stored.
So if fine-tuning is rarely the answer, is there an order I should go in?
Yes. A ladder, cheapest rung first, and you only climb when the rung below isn't enough. 1. Prompt and few shot. Always try this first. It solves a shocking fraction of so-called fine-tuning requests. 2. RAG. When the task needs facts the model doesn't have, or facts that change. 3. Fine-tune. When you genuinely need to change behavior. 4. Distill. For high-volume narrow tasks on a tight budget, compressing a big model into a small one.
There's a number practitioner's quote on this, isn't there?
The 80% rule. The large majority of we need to fine-tune requests are really solved by better retrieval or a better prompt. Full fine-tuning of a base model is almost never the right first move in 2026. It's expensive, it's easy to do badly, and there's a real failure mode where the model forgets its general skills while learning your narrow task. Start at the top of the ladder. Only climb with evidence.
Forgets its general skills. That sounds nasty. Is that a real risk or a footnote?
Real. And it has a name. Catastrophic forgetting. Push too hard fine-tuning a base model, and it gets sharper on your task while getting worse at everything else. It's one more reason just fine-tune it is rarely the casual move people assume.
Alright, say I do land on fine-tuning. When I hear Laura and Clora, what's actually being changed under the hood?
Not what you'd think. You almost never touch all the weights. Laura freezes the entire base model and trains tiny Lorang adapter matrices, a fraction of a percent of the parameters. Clora goes further. It 4-bit quantizes that frozen base. So the whole thing fits in far less memory, which is what lets you fine-tune a large model on a single GPU.
And does adjusting those little adapters teach it new facts or just new manners?
Just new manners. And that's the key mental model. LoRa adjusts behavior and format cheaply. It does not reliably inject new factual knowledge. So even after you fine-tune for the format and the tone, if you need live or changing facts, you still want RAG underneath.
So they're not actually rivals. I might want both at once.
Right? And that's how the strong production systems are built. Fine-tune for the format and the domain behavior. RAG for the live, current facts. They're complementary, not competing. If you've got both a behavior problem and a knowledge problem, the correct thread is just do both.
Let me make sure I can run the decision code. Docs that update weekly.
Reg. Changing knowledge is a retrieval problem, and fine-tuning would go stale the instant a doc changed. Output format that needs to be strict Jaso? Fine-tuning, or honestly constrained decoding. It doesn't know your internal wiki? Reg. Tone's too generic and you want your brand voice? Fine-tune with Laura. It works, but a frontier model's too slow and pricey? Distill it down.
So the one sentence to walk away with.
Knowledge problem. Reach for Reg. Behavior problem. Reach for fine-tuning. But try a better prompt before either, because most of the time, that's the whole fix.
RAG for facts, fine-tuning for behavior, prompt first. That's the Datarekha audio guide. See you in the next one.